Have you ever felt like you were meant for something more, but you couldn't quite explain why? Like there's something inside you pulling you toward a bigger life, a deeper purpose, and a kind of success that feels real, not just surface level? If so, you're not imagining things. That feeling isn't random. You're not just here to survive another day, go through the motions, and play small. You are made for more. You are made to rise, to grow, to lead, to create. You are born with something rare inside you, something this world needs. Not just spiritually, but in every way, mentally, emotionally, financially, creatively. You aren't built to blend in. You were built to make an impact. The truth is, life is always offering moments of change, moments of wealth, moments of transformation. But most people don't see them. They don't come with signs or loud announcements. These moments show up quietly, in thoughts, in pain, in strange feelings, in difficult people, in unexpected chances. And because they're so subtle, most people miss them completely. It's not because they're not ready. It's because they're not paying attention. So they walk right past the very thing that could change everything. And maybe that's been happening to you too. There are moments when powerful ideas come to you out of nowhere. When you're walking, resting, staring out the window, sitting in silence, an idea flashes in your mind. A new business, a message you want to share, a skill you could offer, something that lights you up, even if just for a second. But you brush it off. You tell yourself, it's just a passing thought. Maybe you'll come back to it later. But then it disappears. And with it, the door it was trying to open closes quietly behind it. That idea was never random. It was a seed. And just like any seed, it needed your care, your attention, your action. That was the universe showing you a glimpse of what's possible for you. Not someday, but now. But ideas are fragile. If they're not caught, they float away. And the people who change their lives aren't always the smartest or the richest. They're the ones who take their ideas seriously. They write them down. They act. They build. Even when it feels too early. Even when it's scary. And because of that, their whole world shifts. But it's not just ideas that hold hidden wealth. Your pain does too. The heartbreak, the failure, the betrayal, the losses, they didn't show up to destroy you. They showed up to awaken something in you that could only be born through struggle. They were shaping you, teaching you, preparing you. But most people carry their pain like a burden. They hide it, feeling ashamed or angry or broken. What they don't realize is that their story, what they've survived, what they've learned, is someone else's hope. Your pain can become your power when you speak it, when you stop running from it and start using it. There are books inside people that haven't been written, messages that haven't been shared, healing that hasn't been offered, because they're still trying to pretend they were never hurt. But when you stop pretending and start showing up with your truth, something incredible happens. People listen, people connect, people heal, and doors start to open that were never available to the person who was hiding. Your story might be the answer to someone's prayer. Your words might be the light that pulls someone else out of the dark. But they'll never know unless you speak. And what about the parts of you that feel too different, too strange? Too not like everyone else? What if those are the exact parts of you that are meant to shine the brightest? So many people are taught to shrink themselves, to hide their fire, to fit into boxes they were never made for. But your uniqueness is not something to be fixed. It's not a mistake. It's the key. That thing that makes you different. The way you see the world, the way you think, the way you feel, is what will lead you to your purpose. But only if you stop trying to be what others expect and start becoming who you really are. When you embrace yourself fully, when you walk in your truth, even if no one claps, even if people stare, you begin to attract things that are real. Real friendships, real opportunities, real peace. The world doesn't reward fake perfection. It rewards authenticity. And the more honest you are about who you are, the more the right people and the right doors will show up. What makes you too much for some is exactly what will make you unforgettable to others. And maybe you've always sensed that you are a little more aware than most, that you feel things deeply, that you pick up on energies, emotions, things other people don't see. Maybe you've had dreams that felt like messages, or gut feelings that turned out to be right. These aren't accidents. They aren't weird quirks. They're gifts. And while the world doesn't always understand them, they are becoming more and more valuable every day. The world is starving for people who can feel, who can see, who can guide, who can heal. And if you've ever felt like you don't fit in because of how deeply you experience life, it's probably because you were never meant to fit in. You were meant to lead from the heart. You were meant to show others what's real. But those gifts won't help you if you keep brushing them off. If you keep telling yourself they don't matter. If you keep hiding them, they will stay locked away. And the people who need what you carry will keep searching. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to have a title. You just have to be brave enough to be honest about what you've always known. That you're here to help. That your voice has value. That your presence makes a difference. That your instincts are not wrong. They're your guide. And if you follow them, they'll lead you to places you never imagined. There are doors around you now. Quiet ones, small ones. Ones that don't look like much from the outside. But inside them is everything you've been praying for. A new level. A new beginning. A life that finally feels like it fits. But you have to look closer. You have to start trusting the nudges, the feelings, the ideas, the patterns, the quiet wisdom inside you. You already know more than you think. You already have more than you realize. And when you start treating your thoughts, your experiences, your story, your gifts as valuable, your entire world will begin to change. So ask yourself now, what ideas have you been ignoring? What pain have you been hiding? What parts of yourself have you been shrinking? What feelings have you been brushing off? And most importantly, what are you going to do about it now that you know none of it was ever random? Because your next chapter isn't waiting for something magical to happen outside of you. It's waiting for you to finally notice what's already been happening inside you. You're not broken. You're becoming. And everything you need to step into the life you were made for is already within reach. There is a turning point in your life when things finally begin to shift, not by chance, not because someone else changes, and not because the world suddenly opens a door for you. Things start to change the moment you stop hiding who you really are. The moment you stop shrinking yourself, the moment you stop keeping your voice quiet, the moment you stop waiting for permission to be yourself, that's when everything starts to transform. Not instantly, but gradually, and then all at once. As soon as you begin to share your gifts, your talents, your wisdom, your story, with clear purpose and pure intention, the world around you begins to respond to that energy. The right people start to notice. The right opportunities begin to come your way. The right timing begins to align. And even though it may not be loud at first, even though it may not look like success to other people, something inside you will feel different. You'll feel a sense of peace, clarity, and quiet confidence that confirms you are on the right path. Life rewards authenticity. When you align with your truth and start giving the world something real, you begin to receive real things back: emotional peace, mental strength, spiritual clarity, and even financial blessings. But these blessings don't come from pretending. They don't come from copying others. They don't come from chasing validation. They come when you trust your inner light and allow yourself to shine, even if no one claps for you at first. That's how wealth begins to form, not always as money in your pocket, but as strength in your spirit, as vision in your mind, and as wisdom in your heart. And when those things grow, everything else follows. But many people miss this. Not because they're not talented, not because they're not smart, but because they waste the quiet seasons of their lives. The moments where nothing seems to be moving. The moments where things feel slow, heavy, uncertain. The times where it feels like life has pressed pause. Most people hate those seasons. They want to skip them. They complain. They feel stuck. They think something is wrong. But those quiet times are not punishments. They are preparation. They are sacred. They are rich with meaning and purpose. Sometimes life has to pull you away from the noise to help you hear your own thoughts again. Sometimes things have to slow down so you can catch up to yourself. Sometimes everything has to become still so the next path can become clear. Those silent, in-between moments are not empty. They are full of answers, full of instructions, full of insights. But most people don't notice because they're too busy trying to escape the discomfort. They scroll endlessly, looking for distractions. They compare their life to someone else's highlight reel. They spend their energy worrying about timing or questioning their worth. And all the while, they miss the fact that their stillness is trying to teach them something. Their solitude is trying to speak. Their delay is really direction. There is power in the pause. There is purpose in the wilderness. You may not be busy, but you are being built. You may feel alone, but you are being aligned. The season that looks like nothing is happening is often the season where everything is being prepared. Behind the scenes, your soul is being strengthened. Your character is being shaped. Your mind is being cleared. And the wisdom you gather in those quiet moments is worth more than any shortcut. If you could truly understand how many great ideas, life-changing inventions, powerful visions, and successful empires were born in moments of silence and solitude, you would never take another quiet season for granted. You would treasure it. You would lean into it. You would let it sharpen you. Wealth doesn't always arrive wrapped in money. Often, it comes wrapped in an idea, a moment of insight, a flash of inspiration. That is real wealth in seed form. But the question is, do you water it? Do you protect it? Do you develop it? Most people don't. They dismiss it. They keep waiting for something louder, something more obvious. But the truth is, the people who grow the most and succeed the most are those who take those tiny seeds of wisdom and treat them with care. They use their quiet time to reflect, to write, to build slowly, to think deeply. They don't chase noise. They follow meaning. They don't wait for applause. They focus on becoming the version of themselves that can handle success when it arrives. And then there's the matter of people. Because sometimes the most important shifts in your life don't come from effort or planning, they come from people. One person can change everything. One introduction, one conversation, one recommendation. But too many people stay stuck in familiar circles. They stay around people who don't support them, who don't see them, who don't understand what they're becoming. These people might not mean to hurt you, but they are not helping you. And staying in those places too long will keep who brings out your greatness. But you'll never meet them if you stay in the same old spaces, with the same old habits, having the same old conversations. You have to be willing to leave comfort behind. You have to be willing to walk away from the familiar, even if it feels safe. You have to trust that something better exists beyond what you already know. Sometimes you'll meet someone and instantly feel a connection, like they were placed in your life for a reason. That's not an accident. Life often answers your silent prayers through the arrival of people, but you have to be open enough to notice them. You have to let go of the old to make space for the new. If you're too busy clinging to the past, you'll miss the future knocking right in front of you. There is so much wealth in connection, in collaboration, in learning from the right people. But you have to be bold enough to step into the unknown and curious enough to explore new paths, even if they feel unfamiliar at first. That stranger you're hesitant to talk to could be the key to a door you've been waiting years to open. Then there's the kind of wealth that comes through serving others. This is one of the most powerful truths, and yet it's the most overlooked. In a world that tells you to chase fame, chase money, chase followers, real wealth often comes from doing something simple, helping people with intention. When you shift your focus from, how can I win, to, how can I help? Your whole world changes. Not from blind generosity, not from people pleasing, but from purposeful giving. Giving with clarity, giving with strategy, giving because you know your experience, your perspective, your skills, your story can solve a problem for someone else. That's what every great business is built on. That's what every lasting platform is built on. That's how every meaningful impact is made. Not by trying to look important, but by being useful. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start where you are and offer what you have with love, with structure, and with consistency. What you give will multiply. What you circulate will return to you. When you start serving with heart, with focus, with discipline, doors will begin to open. Doors you didn't even know existed. Your purpose isn't just about making your own life better. It's about healing others, lifting others, inspiring others, even feeding others, sometimes physically, sometimes emotionally, sometimes spiritually. But that can only happen if you get started. You can't sit and wait for someone to find you. You have to step into your purpose. You have to offer it. You have to move in the direction of service. Because movement is what creates momentum, and momentum is what carries you into a life filled with meaning, fulfillment, and abundance. And finally, there's the kind of wealth that can only be accessed through obedience. Sometimes life nudges you to do something that doesn't make logical sense. Move to a new place. Start that project. Leave that job. Reach out to that person. Speak that truth. Share that story. And because it feels uncertain or uncomfortable, you delay. You question yourself. You try to make it all make sense before you act. But what if the blessing only comes after you say yes? Life often works on a faith-first basis. You act with trust, and the support follows. You step out with courage, and the way opens up. You make the move, and then the miracles find you. That one step of obedience might be the only thing standing between where you are and the life you've been dreaming about. But if you keep hesitating, you might stay stuck in a chapter that was meant to end long ago. The truth is, life has been trying to prosper you for a long time. Opportunities have passed by you. Doors have appeared, but fear and familiarity kept you from walking through them. You've had ideas, visions, and moments of clarity, but you pushed them aside, waiting for a better time. But the better time is now. The right moment is now. Everything you need, your strength, your insight, your gift, it's already inside you or around you. You just have to move. You have to stop doubting. You have to start trusting what you feel deep inside. You are not here to stay small. You are not here just to survive. You are here to create, to expand, to build something real and lasting. You are here to rise and help others rise. You are here to turn your life into something that makes a difference. And you don't need to wait any longer. You're ready now.